Alright, so I started building the cross member. Got that tied in. Got I guess about 1.5 inch clearance where it'll be on the drive shaft. Weld it in there. On the other side, I had left this because I was going to do a bulldog hitch, in which where I come in and I cut this out and countersink the hitch and then weld it in. But my buddy Brad had this big dude that he had bought for his truck and decided not to use it. So he hooked me up with that. So we'll run tabs off of there and weld that dude in there. That thing is beefy. Looks like it takes maybe a 3/4 inch bolt. But anyway, we'll get some tabs welded on the cross member and grind my axle tubes down. See if I can't go ahead and start mounting some one link arms on this thing. Get that rear end set in there. We'll get to work. Hi guys, back at it. I still had the rear frame section of Joe Dirt that I cut off. I had these coil mounts on it with the bolts already in it to clamp the coil spring in. So I took a piece of 2.5 inch exhaust pipe and swedged it out so that way it would fit the opening of that, keep the spring centered. And I don't have the caps anymore, so I'll have to build me some. But for right now, I mean, it'll be just fine to get it together. I still got to take the chunk out and weld it up, so I still have to pull this whole rear end out. But anyway, raise the car up, or raise the mount up 1.25 inches. So overall, I think it's like 1.5 inches, which hopefully is about the same width as the two before. If it isn't, you know how much I'm worried about it. Not at all. So anyway, got those built. Track bars on. It's just mocked up. I mean, of course, it still needs gussets and everything from these. I'll put a tower off of here up to the top. I'll put one off of here down to the one link. And then over on the other side, I'll put big plate gussets on it, tied into more of the frame there. So anyway, we'll raise it up a little bit, set the coil springs in it. Actually, I want to set the coil springs in it, and I want to raise my jack stands so I can kind of get it close to where the tires are going to sit. And I think, once I do that, I need to get it set down on the weight, build my shock mounts for the shocks. And then that way, the rear end will pretty much be in there. Of course, I mean, a lot of finished welding and gussets and all that, but the rear end will be mounted. Then I can move to the front, start getting all the front suspension out. So gotta get all this stuff out. Get the front axle in here. Start getting it mocked up. Get my Iroks set on the front. That's all I want to get the rear set where the tires are going to sit. Or get the car set up at ride height, so that way I'll know exactly where to set the front. I think I'm going to try to do it as much level as possible. No rake to it. I've got mixed emotions about that, but I think setting level will probably be better. I am happy to say though that this car will actually sit lower than my Crown Vic that I did on 36s. So I'll be real happy with that. I was hoping it would be lower, which the Crown Vic did fine, and there was nothing wrong with it being as tall as it was. I took it out and wheeled it once. It side heeled just fine. So I mean the car worked fine, but anyway, I just like my stuff as low as possible. The deal with the Vic was it was a nice car. I didn't want to cut the fenders or anything like that. I just wanted to trim just as little as possible and keep it nice. So that's why I went that route. But this car here is got cancer there. Rust holes there. So this one I don't really care about. It'll be a beater. But anyway, I'm gonna get this thing set up real quick, and then we'll come back to it. What's up, guys? All right, tonight we're gonna rip out this crap. Nothing drives that. We don't need that. So I'm gonna pull all that out. Oh yeah, I gotta weld me a bolt to that so I can get it out. Gotta save the hubcaps, man. I gotta figure out how to put them on my new wheels. So anyway, we're gonna rip all this out tonight. Oh, I picked up my performance shocks today. I actually bought brand new shocks for it. Look at that. They were like $18 a piece. Let's see. Oh, that's performance right there. Yeah, buddy. Put me a 1/2-inch sleeve in there. I can run me a 1/2-inch bolt. Look at that. Stem going right through the top. Put me a couple of tabs down there on the bottom. Shoo. It's gonna be on. It's gonna have like, well, those shocks have 8 inches of travel, so she's gonna articulate. Anyway, I'm gonna get started on ripping this out. I'll get some pictures of it. Get a little better view of our 4-speed down in there. I gotta get all this emissions crap off and all of the EFI. Well, if you want to call that EFI. Anyway, all that's coming off. Get all the front off of here so I can do my cam swap. But right now, oh, and I ordered all my metric bolts for my body lift. Waiting on them to come in. So I think I spent like 25 bucks and got like a box of 50. So it's cheaper than going down to the bolt place here. So anyway, I'm gonna get to ripping this front suspension out, so this weekend we'll get that Dana 60 put in the front. So we'll be back. All right, for the young guys that don't know, got a bolt stuck in something, ain't got a proper socket for it. Weld you another bolt to it. Yeah. Bolt's actually a little bit harder to get to. And I was just tacking it with my eyes closed. But anyway, got a bolt or something that you can't get out, and which I do this pretty much every day on exhaust bolts for Chevrolet pickups and Dodges. Matter of fact, here's a Dodge exhaust manifold bolt. Typical. But I know a lot of people already know that trick, but for the ones that don't hate on them, educate them. Alright, got the front end set up underneath of it. It's about where it's going to sit as far as front to back. What I'm going to do is the factory coil spring sits right there, and it'll drop down and it'll sit right here. So I'm going to unbolt this and get rid of it, and then I'm going to build me a spring plate that will bolt here, rest on the housing, and then probably bolt down there with the shock, and then the spring will be mounted to it. And I'll do the same thing like what I'm going to do on the rear. I'm going to put a spring slider in there, so I don't have to worry about mounting the spring. This side here, same deal. This side I can weld the spring pad to this. I mean, I'm sure I could the other. I guess I could. Well, I don't know. I could try, but anyway. That's where we're at for tonight. I'm going to call it quits. So, it's getting a little bit closer.